I know we all sat around, you've driven around, you've seen people out on the lawn playing croquet. We've all seen it, and we're all, I'm sure we scoff a few times, or maybe we laugh a little bit. But croquet is a fun sport. It really is. It's enjoyable, not just for the old people. It can be for you too. Drew, what are your thoughts so far on this? We have actually an upcoming event coming up. Why don't we talk about the upcoming event? Because that's the real exciting part we want to get to. And then we'll talk a little bit about the croquet part. But what does Belly Up have coming up for with croquet?
Yeah, it's really exciting stuff. So we're going to be bringing you a live broadcasting tournament, the inter-county tournament over in England. So there's going to be different counties that are going to be competing against each other. It's going to be some fun stuff. So you're going to be able to see that here live on our station here on Tiki Live on Belly Up TV. We're going to bring you live commentary for that tournament and future tournaments as well. So definitely going to want to tune in for what we got cooking.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. Again, I haven't seen this myself, but, maybe there's a little smack talk. I mean, who knows? No, I'm just kidding. But, it's a lot of strategy involved with croquet. It's not the fast-paced action that you would expect from, a big sport, but a lot of strategies involved. It's just not going up there and hitting the ball. It's really actually you have to sit down and figure out what your opponent's doing and then offset that with your move. So again, almost like a chess type thing, on a field. So it's a lot of fun, something really, and again, it's exciting. It is fun to get into. All right. So wanted to start out our show because we don't know, if you can't tell with all this banter, we don't know much about croquet. I mean, we'll be honest. It's just not something we've grown up with, but we want to learn more. That's why we have the show. That's why we're bringing croquet to you. So we know that the association and this pay-per-view coming up, Drew, we know it's not the same rules as you would see, as I mentioned earlier, see people out in the field playing, with the family. It's not the same type of rules. If you want to explain maybe a little bit how it differs from, mom and pop's croquet, so to speak.
Yeah, and I'm sure the experts coming on in just a little bit here will correct me if I am wrong. But from my understanding, so you got the golf croquet rules and you got the association croquet rules. The golf croquet rules, from my understanding, is the one that you'll find like in your backyard, games. It's the quicker version. Everyone gets one stroke. In the association rules, from what I can tell, you get continuation strokes for when you roquet a ball, from when you score hoop points, peg points, and so you get these extra strokes to continue your turn to try to keep scoring points to really put the other team in a bad spot. But when you're playing the golf croquet, that's pretty sure the main difference is that you're talking about just one stroke, just kind of passing off the turn from player to player. And I mean, both sets of rules can be played with either singles or doubles. So you have if you're playing singles, you have your choice to play which of the two balls of yours you want to play. And then in the doubles, you each have a ball you play and you move forward in those terms. So like I said, the experts will correct me brutally if I am wrong, but that is my understanding so far of the two sets of croquet rules.
I'm sure they're sitting in the back like, man, these guys don't know nothing. Let's talk real quick now, because you started to bring up a lot of terms, like, a lot of stuff. I don't know what, it's almost like I took my car to the mechanic and I don't know what he's saying. I'm just like, bro, just fix the car. Okay. I don't need to hear this long explanation because I don't even know what you're talking about. So let's talk about terms, croquet terms. And you brought a couple of them up. I guess to make this a little fun, why don't you maybe test me a little bit, see what I know, which isn't much. So let's see what I can figure out. And then you can explain to our audience what you're referring to.
All right. That sounds good. So first off, let's just start right from the way the game starts. What do you call the line that the first ball is hit from?
Listen. You got to give me multiple choice here. Okay. This isn't all right. Come on. You're not that hard.
Okay, we'll give you some
you're not giving me anything here. Come on.
Okay. Same question. Here's your multiple choice. You have the baseline, the chalk line, the balk line, or home plate.
I'm gonna go with the chalk line.
So close. I knew that would throw you off. It's the balk line, actually.
All right.
AULK. So that's it's similar to in the baseline of basketball, to where when you take it in, you can move it to anywhere on that line and to take it whatever angle in you want to start your shot.
Oh, all right, good. See, that was interesting. We didn't now again. All right, hit me some more, man. Hit me some more.
All right. So if the ball goes out of bounds at any point, there's a section to start your next shot on. Is it 1 yard out, 2 yards out, half yard out, or do you have to hit it from the out of bounds line?
I'm gonna say hit it from the out of bounds line.
Man, it's so nice to have you losing on questions for once instead of me. No, it is a 1 yard line. So around the entire court, there's a 1 yard line section in from the boundary lines to where if the ball even just hover, it's similar to tennis, where even if the ball hovers over the out of bounds line, you move it in to 1 yard to hit your next shot, which the line, I believe, is not actually marked on the court. But
is that more like a penalty then? So that way, if he goes out, or is that more like a reset?
Reset, I believe, but that might be a good question for our experts.
Okay, yeah, you don't know. Yeah, you don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, hit me some more. What else?
All right. So the final the center point, the final thing you'd want to hit, is it a stake, a peg, a post, or a pole?
I'm gonna say a stake.
Nice. 0 for 3. It's a
Ballin'.
peg. It's a peg. If anybody doesn't know, so Jason over here, he on his other shows, he loves to run games and he loves to pull out questions that just embarrass the rest of us who play. So this is such a treat for me. I'm loving this.
All right, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself here. All right, what other terms that I don't know that maybe we can school the audience on that are important?
All right, so the other main thing would be the things that you're trying to hit the croquet balls through. So do we refer to those as wickets, hoops, tunnels, or now you know this one's wrong, so I can't think of another one.
I want to say I saw something earlier. I saw a hoop earlier, but I'm gonna, just because it sounds like it might be right, I'm gonna go with wicket.
I believe it's a hoop, but I feel like I've also seen it called wicket. So
you don't even know the answer. Now you truly know how I feel when I do my show.
I think we've hit the well, no, we can ask one more terminology question here.
Right.
Okay. So what is used to hit the croquet ball?
That's a mallet, right?
Well, okay, there we go. I didn't even have to come up with anything else. Perfect.
Yes, I got it. All right, all right. Now I feel like a croquet expert. I hope you do too, ladies and gentlemen, because that's the kind of stuff we want to bring you here. We want to school you guys, because listen, we're going to be watching this stuff. We're going to be calling this stuff. So when you hear this terminology, for those who it's new, for those that are new watching it, at least you know what the hell I'm referring to, because it's going to take me a while to figure it out myself. So, but nonetheless, we have two guests coming on from the Croquet Association. We have Beatrice McClin. She is the executive chairman and also a player herself. We also have Paul Hetherington. He's a player, director of marketing for the Croquet Association. They're going to basically come in and put a stop to all this silly nonsense, because we just don't know what we're talking about. Basically, give us a quick lesson on croquet and talk about some of the exciting events that they have coming up. Like I said, I want to emphasize, this isn't just for old people, all right? And I just say that lightly. It's the fact. I mean, it's fun. You have a good time. I mean, I don't know how many of you actually play shuffleboard, but I do all the time. I'm down here in Florida. I play shuffleboard all the time. I love it. It's great. It's fun. It's a fun game to play. Plus, it gets you outside. Look, I mean, we're still in COVID. It's a great idea to get outside. You don't have to be necessarily masked up and bottled up inside a home. Get outside, get some fresh air. Go play some croquet, man. All right, we're going to hit a quick break. We come back. We're going to bring in our guest. We'll be right back.
Hayden, we love fantasy football. We do? It's a fantastic game, yet still not perfect. Like, I hate leaving high-scoring players on my bench.
The worst, man.
In fact, hate it even more when I put injured players and they're in my starting lineup.
Can't have that.
And I need a life. The waivers, the trades, every single week, it grinds on me. So We at Underdog Fantasy want to make fantasy football easier for everyone out there. It's called Best Ball, and we set your optimal lineup for you each and every week. You can do it all year long. We have drafts going all the way from February to week 1 of the NFL season. What are you waiting for? Use our awesome early sign-up offer to get a little extra something on that first deposit and that first time you play on Underdog Fantasy.
You put them up, reach the skies as the stars up above, cause it's one time for the underdog, one time for the underdog.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have royalty in the building. Let's welcome into the studio first Beatrice McLean. Welcome in. Appreciate you being here.
Hello, thank you very much for having me.
And to your left, or maybe right, I got this all miscombobulated, Paul Hetherington. Welcome, my friend, to the studio.
Great to be on.
I wanted to mention, too, the show is called The Striking Point, and I actually did look this up. This is the, I guess, the time where you bat from the backswing of your swing to the point where you strike the ball, and you can get a foul during this. So that's why we call the show The Striking Point. See how clever I was, Andrew? See, I did do a little studying. All right, Andrew's got a lot of fun questions for our guests. Again, appreciate you guys being here. We're excited to have the Croquet Association, and we're excited to do these events. So we want to welcome you guys in. And Andrew, take it away, brother.
Yeah, thank you. So first of all, how did I do, guys? Am I way off base on my knowledge so far?
You weren't that way off.
Not that okay. I'm trying here.
Yeah.
No, so I think a place where I want to start is that I really kind of want to know. So how do you get started into professional croquet? Like, is it something that is played in high schools? Well, I know your school system is set up differently over there, but is it something that's played at school teams, or is this just something that you kind of pick up as an adult and with a club and then just get into tournaments?
Well, first of all, there's no such thing as professional croquet. There is no money in croquet at all.
Hey, we know how you feel.
Yeah.
If you think you're going to make your fortune, go play golf.
Okay.
Most people get into it just because they see it being played somewhere. They see a poster for an open day or something like that, and they think, oh, that'd be quite interesting. Let's go along and have a look. Some people get into it because their parents play, and so they take it up. But the people who get to be good are the ones that take it up when they're young. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. So there's a sort of a raft of the top players at the moment who actually started playing at school because they had a teacher who was a croquet player, and he got them involved, and so they've done really well. There's no doubt. Most people take it up when they retire. But if you want to be good, you need to do it when you're a teenager.
Nice, Jason.
Way to lead in the guest, Jason.
No, okay. So this comes from more of a club standpoint. And Paul, I guess this might be more of a question for you, since you said you're marketing director for the association. Is croquet kind of on the rise right now as far as popularity? I know Beatrice just mentioned that there's a rise of good players right now who started when they're younger. Are we seeing more of a younger generation get into it? Starting?
I would say croquet is definitely on the rise at the moment in terms of popularity. We are getting more people joining clubs. We're getting more people participating. We're about to launch a garden membership for people who play in their gardens, try and get them more into playing the game. And yeah, I think that there is a new raft of young people coming through. The Open Golf Croquet Championships last year was won by an 18-year-old, and it's kind of broken monopoly of two other people who've won it virtually every time up until then. So yeah, young people are starting to come through. But on the other hand, there are people who are well into their 70s who can compete on level terms with young people. So it's a great leveling sport for people of all ages and all abilities can compete on a relatively level playing field.
Yeah, I love that, because for me that's very similar to golf. I know there's a lot of mechanics people. It's the first thing people are going to go to, especially when some of the rules are called golf croquet. But I like that accessibility to everyone, and to where you can go out there and play with someone, 3 generations ahead of you, and you can have conversations, and you learn so much more just about the sport. You learn about people's lives. I think that's really cool that an 18-year-old went out there and can compete. But like you said, someone in their 70s can also do it with the same. A lot of these sports with the young guns take over, kind of you lose a little bit of a generation. But so with the younger crowd coming in, is there any type of cultural shifts in the sport that are happening? Is there any are there rule changes that are being tried to be pushed to try to change the game? Or because I know that can happen. That's happened with golf over the recent years of guys coming in the younger crowd trying to change things. Or is it pretty much a universal, we're all just kind of playing this and hanging out together and we're going to enjoy ourselves and just kind of do it the way it's always been?
There is a move to tournaments which, used to be 4 or 5 days long, aimed at retired people. Gradually, by the time I started playing, most of them were weekend tournaments, so they were 2 days. But actually, there's a move towards just having 1-day tournaments because people have busy lives, they've got families, younger people, you've got jobs, they've got families, they don't want to necessarily commit an entire weekend. So that is perhaps something that is starting to change a bit to fit in younger people.
No, that definitely is interesting for sure. As a younger person myself, it makes sense. I can see the clash if you want to do it and not being able to.
Paul and I both started when we were young, didn't we? We both started in our 20s and 30s, I think, and we've been playing all our lives, really.
So you mentioned trying to squeeze this movement is try to squeeze into 1 day. So how long because I know the golf rules games tend to go quicker. So like for the association rules though, which I'm assuming are more of the tournament based used rules. How long are those games typically? What can our viewers expect to see time wise for these matches?
It's a bit of a, I was going to say, it's a bit of a how long is a piece of string question. You can see games finish in sort of 40 odd minutes if one side basically dominates, goes around really, really quickly. Most of the games will be over in 2 hours or less time. We usually have a time limit on, which is probably going to be something like 2.5 hours for the intercounties, which are all doubles matches.
Okay, perfect. So you answered my other question. It's doubles matches for the intercounties. And something you said there, going around, just something to bring up. So you do have to go through the hoops. Did I get that one right earlier? The hoops. Okay, that's what I thought. So you do have to go through the hoops in a certain order, just for the viewers watching. So when Paul mentions is going around, you got to attack the field in a certain way.
Yeah, there's 6 hoops which are arranged. The 4 outer ones are in a sort of square, and then you've got 2 in the middle, and then the peg, which is the coloured stripy pole in the middle. It's right in the centre of the lawn. Yes, it's very confusing because the coloured clips that you put on the top of a hoop to mark which hoop the ball is for. In a lot of clubs, they actually use clothes pegs, but they're not called pegs; they're called clips. And the stick in the middle is called a peg. So it's
so now we're crossing terms.
Later. Confusing, yes. But basically, you go around the course of 6 in a clockwise direction, and then having come through the 6th one, you then go back round in an anti-clockwise direction. So a game is you've got to get both balls through 12 hoops and then hit the peg in the centre. So a full game is 26 points.
Makes sense.
And you said when in your introduction you were talking about whether they're hoops or wickets. In America, in croquet, they're called wickets.
Okay, so I have heard it somewhere.
So you have heard wickets, yes. And actually, Jason, you said you live in Florida, and there's a big croquet club in Florida in Palm Beach.
Oh, nice.
There you are. Yes.
Nice. Maybe you guys can have a tournament over here sometime. That'd be great.
There are tournaments there. Yes, but it tends to be only for the very, very good people.
Sounds like Jason's gonna do some traveling soon.
Yeah.
No, so I imagine with croquet, like Jason mentioned earlier, I imagine there's a lot of strategy into it. I in my mind, I kind of picture it similar to strategy like you see in curling or pool, to where are you trying to block the other player's balls from certain angles? can you explain kind of the basic strategies of kind of the more offensive and defensive moves that players are looking to make out there, or should I say strikers are looking to make out there?
Paul, are you going to do that one?
So it's not really about blocking the opponent's balls, but you do have to think a long way ahead, and you need to think when it's the end of your turn, you need to leave the court in such a position that there's not a lot on for your opponent, which usually means putting your opponent where their balls are a long way apart and a long way apart from yours, and they can probably only see perhaps one ball on the whole of the court. And then there's other complications in the advanced game, which we're going to be playing, where after you've run certain hoops, your opponent gets what's called a lift, which means they can pick any one of their balls up and put them back in one of the balks and play from there, which again involves complications around potentially where you leave it. But the idea is at the end of your turn, you try and leave the court so there's not a lot on for your opponent, or the only way your opponent might get something is by taking a very risky shot that could give a lot to you in your next go. So it's very much about strategizing, thinking ahead.
I love that. I love the mind games of sports. So that's, I mean, I was, the second we said we were going to do this, I was hooked. I said, yeah, give me that. This sounds like something that I'd love to be involved in covering. So I'm definitely excited about that. And when it comes to striking the ball, and we've all seen, you know, swinging through your legs and whatnot, are you able to use the mallet in different ways? I know in a video I saw one guy holding it down on the ground, swinging it to the side. Is there any restrictions on ways that you can swing the mallet?
Well, there are some restrictions on the way you can swing a mallet, but the main thing is that the way the mallet hits the ball can control what actually happens to the balls. So in a way, it's a bit like snooker, where with the end of the cue, depending on where you hit it on the ball, you can get the ball to do different things. You can get it to backspin, you can get it to curve. It's not quite as sophisticated as that in a way with croquet, because the head of the mallet is so big compared to the size of the ball. But by hitting it on the up, you can get the balls to go a long way. By hitting it on the down, you can get two balls to roll the same distance. So there's ways of hitting the ball that have different outcomes. But you're not allowed to hit it like a golf club. So you can either play it center style, which is swinging it between your legs, or you can play side style, which if you see pictures, you know, of ladies in crinoline dresses, they used to play side style. But you're not allowed to play it like a cricket bat or a basketball and baseball bat, or you know, you're not allowed to play it like that.
So not allowed to like turn your body mainly. It's to face them. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's I find it interesting that you can apply like spin to these balls and whatnot, because I mean I know you guys play in a very short grass, so I'm assuming then the grass is, you know, like how much spin are we talking about? Like now I'm getting technical here now, but this is just fascinating to me. I didn't expect you to say that you can like put spin on the ball.
Well, when you're running through a hoop, because the hoops the clearance is tiny.
Sure.
At the high level, it's only a 32nd of an inch, so there's a tiny clearance. But one way to sort of ensure that they do go through if they hit the side a little bit is actually to get a bit of spin on them. And so you do that by the way you stroke the ball with your mallet, so that you can get that little bit of spin, so that if it does hit the side of the hoop, it sort of spins a bit and then flops out, so that you've actually scored that hoop.
Okay,
So there's
going to be some exciting plays, and I think we're going to see out there. Then, so enough with the technical stuff, though. I want to give you guys a chance now to talk about this tournament coming up, specifically the Intercounties tournament. So maybe just give us a rundown of what it looks like, how many teams, counties, what teams you guys play for or have played for. You know, just what can you tell us about this upcoming tournament for the audience who has no clue what they're going to be watching yet?
Well, it's what I would call a festival of croquet. There's upwards of 120 players. So it's one of the biggest croquet tournaments in the world, I think, really, in terms of the number of people. And they all wear their whites, so you know it's a spectacle in many ways. This one is actually.
Beatrice, so we don't all wear white. Some of us have team strips nowadays.
Oh, so yeah, there are some there are some counter strips. Yeah, yeah. That's an introduction that's coming in with younger people, I think, as well. Yeah.
Some individuality or uniqueness, whatever. Yeah,
just to generate a bit of team spirit, really.
Sure. Yeah.
And because it's all doubles, and it's the only tournament that we have that is all doubles.
Okay.
So it has a sort of special atmosphere, really, and it's a big social occasion. So people meet up from all over the country. But this one is the 107th time it's been run. It's first started in 1897. And it's apart from the two world wars, the only other year that was missed was 2020 because of COVID.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that is
up there with world wars. Yeah.
I was just going to make that same comment.
There's two divisions. There's a Division 1 and a Division 2. So that's why there's so many teams there.
Perfect. Okay.
Well, that's amazing right there, indeed. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just my last question was a bit more of I'm trying to find ways for people to kind of latch on to certain teams or get excited. Are there any like rivalries? And I know it seems like this is a very like fun, loving back and forth, like we're all out there having a good time together and enjoying it. But at tournaments like this, are there any like two counties or specific teams that our viewers should watch for to be like, oh, this is going to be like the matchup to watch, or like a big rivalry where there's going to be energy involved?
Well, I mean, for all it's fun and it's a big social occasion, the actual games themselves are deadly serious. Yes.
Okay.
the fun stops, once the ball starts moving. Yeah.
Wow.
But the counties that have won most often are Middlesex, Surrey, and Nottinghamshire. So they're probably the three top counties.
Okay.
But it varies.
I noticed you didn't say Suffolk, Paul. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, the other area where I think you do get a bit of rivalry is, sometimes, I mean, not every county is represented, but sometimes you do get neighbouring counties play one another, and there's usually a little bit of needle when you've got, like when we play Essex and get beaten by them usually. But
yeah, and then there's the War of the Roses, which is Lancashire versus Yorkshire, so that's always a needle match. Yeah.
I think the biggest question for our audience is, we have the Kentucky Derby, so we have the drink, the mint julep drink. Is there a specific drink? You said it was a social thing. Is there a specific drink in regards to your tournament that we all should be drinking while we watch?
Well, I don't think so, really. I mean, lots of people would associate pims with croquet, but in reality, it doesn't. We don't really drink pims when we play croquet.
Last year, the co-op ran out of beer.
Yeah,
that's
more beer, isn't it?
a sign of a good time right there.
Yeah, I definitely want to get my plane ticket then. That's for sure. We appreciate you guys coming on. This has been great introduction to not only the tournaments but to croquet itself. So we do appreciate you guys coming on with us. You do have a few seconds left here, to you guys. If there's anything you guys want to plug or where we can find you and find, where we can find the website for the association and all that stuff. We'll start with you first, Beatrice.
Well, the Croquet Association's website is, if you just type in your search engine Croquet Association England, you'll find it and bring it up. But the clubs as well often have very good websites, and there's lots of information on those. My club is Nottingham, so again, you just type in Nottingham Croquet on your search engine and you'll find it.
One of the best clubs, by the way.
Yes, one of the best clubs. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but as Paul says, it's a sport that is available to everybody, and we're doing a lot of work with people with mental health problems, dementia, children that have got into trouble, and are using the sport to get them out, get them socializing, and so there's it has a lot of benefits to everybody.
Indeed.
And it certainly keeps the 80-year-olds fit. And
Yeah, I'm a physical therapist, and the lady who taught me, like, she would always, like, whenever we went to the nursing homes, like, her thing was, hey, listen, get up and walk. Motion is lotion, and that is the truth. So she speaks the truth. Get out there and get playing. Paul, what about you, sir? Anything you want to plug before we head out?
Yeah, I'd just say tune in, watch the inter-counties, maybe pick a county that you want to support. We'll keep all the results flashing up in front of you so you can see how they're getting on. Last year, I think it was Middlesex just won it, but Hertfordshire and Essex all won the same. So they're probably the three to follow if you want to follow the winning team. But, come on, give a bit of support to us at Suffolk. We came bottom of Division 1 last year, but we didn't get demoted because there was no promotion and demotion. This year, we're going to do better, I'm sure.
That's awesome. I've been watching streaming The Last Kingdom, and all these counties sound so familiar. So I'm already pumped up. Like, yeah, let's go. Essex. All right. We appreciate you guys. We're going to have another show next week. We had a couple other guests coming on. So we appreciate you guys joining the Striking Point. And we'll look out for the tournament coming soon. We'll be hyping that up as well here on Belly Up TV. From us to you, we appreciate you. We are out.
thank you very much.